Yo, what's up, guys? Sunday evening. Guess we're about halfway into the 4 p.m. NFL games. I'm on my way back from Philly. My voice is a little dry, if you can't tell. Been at the Philly show since yesterday. Stayed overnight. It was a good time. I've been driving for about the last hour and 40 minutes, and now I'm about 10 minutes from home. So I figured I would come on and chat with you guys live before I put out a video on the show while stuff is fresh on the brain. We'll wait and see how many people show up just because I am a little bit early. But Joel, what's going on? I'm not going to be able to check the comments that much because I am driving. However, I am intentionally going to take the back roads the rest of the way home so there's no traffic. So I will be able to interact with you guys. So yeah, let me get them going through the small town here. So I got to watch my speed. So what's up, guys? Sun is blazing in here this time of the day. Somebody give me some update on some scores. Is Miami winning? Is Miami losing? I don't know. I haven't been able to check. I gassed up in Philly before I left. So really, I've just been straight driving for almost 2 hours. What's going on, guys? But, whoa, lots of takeaways from this Philly show. Lots of takeaways. And for some reason, for myself, I always do really well selling at the Philly show. Last time I went to the Philly show, I sold out of almost all my Modern Basketball. Now I've restocked. You guys know I've been buying Modern Basketball since the National. And my goodness, did I have people wanting to buy like every card off of me that I had that was Modern Basketball? On day one, I hadn't even checked into my room yet. The room wasn't ready. So I'm carrying my case around with me. And mainly my Modern Basketball, I don't want to sell it. It doesn't make sense to sell it at the moment. I wanted to take it to trade night and trade it and get full value for it as opposed to selling it like a 70% dealer comp. It makes sense to sell Modern Basketball if you're going to sell it online. But if you got to take a cut into your comps, say for instance, you got to take a 25% cut automatically into the value of your card because you're selling to a dealer, a lot of your cards aren't up that much yet unless you were in really early. I mean, you might be 20% up on a card, which is great, but if you got to sell it at a 25% cut to a dealer, you're taking a loss. Or even if they're going to give you 80, it's a wash. So unless you're trying to get out of a card, it doesn't make sense to sell Modern Basketball unless you were in early. I'll give you a couple circumstances where a lot of players' cards I held, and there was a couple cards that I did sell because I was in early enough. So right now, it's not buy Modern Basketball. It's sell if you were in at the right price now because it's starting to heat up. And I'll tell you, hardly nobody was selling it. Hardly nobody was selling Modern Basketball, and everybody was asking for it. So to me, that's when I will sell. I won't wait. It wouldn't make sense to wait when everybody decides to sell in maybe 2 or 3 weeks or into the performance of the NBA season. Not just the hype, but the performance-based players. And everybody goes to sell. Now you got seller competition. It washes itself out anyway. But, I mean, the first day of the show, I pocketed like $1,600. I wasn't even the show like 10 minutes, and I was already up $1,600 in my pocket. And that tends to be how the Philly show works for me. I bought a Ja Morant card a while back. I sold that Ja Morant card at 75% over the last comp, if I'm doing the math right. 75% over the last comp, I sold a Ja Morant. Over the last comp. It was my select blue Ja Morant. You guys knew that I had. Well, I bought that card for $800. I sold that card at the show for like $1,300. Could it be worth more than that? May it be worth more than that? Absolutely. $500 return on my $800 investment, pocketing $1,300 off that card. Yes, please. I'll take that, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, and today's Sunday, but I sold it on Saturday. And that was the importance of getting in early and on the basement, is because now profit margins are there if you were in early enough. If you were buying in June and July and not waiting. And how the market has shifted. At the National, it was football, football, football. Everybody wanted to buy football. I was selling my football. If everybody wants to buy it, then I want to sell it. And now everybody's wanting to buy ultra-modern basketball. And I tell you what, the football market did not seem very buzzy this weekend. And I'm not just saying that because I've moved out of some of mine, because there's a couple players I've actually looked at moving back into, but he just didn't seem very buzzy. I was at a trade night. I saw people trying to sell. There was a guy who had a really nice flawless Sam Darnold. He couldn't move it for what he wanted to move it for. And Sam Darnold's one of the hotter names at the moment. Do I agree with him being a hot name? It doesn't matter what I think, because I don't control the market, but you see lots of posts about Sam Darnold stuff being hot, and he couldn't move it. Everybody was asking for modern basketball cards, and nobody wanted to sell modern basketball cards. I no longer own any Michael Porter Jr. cards. I sold all 3 of my Michael Porter Jr. cards today. I didn't quite double up. I bought 3 Michael Porter Jr. cards for $750 for the 3 of them. I bought them about a month ago. 2 blue Velocities and a blue Mosaic. $750 total. And I sold those today for around $1,200. So I didn't quite double up on those, but I mean, damn. People wanted to buy the stuff because they need inventory. That's another thing about this Philly show that I noticed, is a lot of showcases were bare, were very spacious. It seemed like people didn't have a lot to sell, or they weren't selling it. I can't tell you because I don't know what the dealers actually have. Maybe lots of them have a lot of basketball and they want to wait a week or 2 to sell it, and they're still trying to buy more. I felt like there was more buying going on the dealer side of the table at this show than there was selling. I don't think the dealers were selling a lot. They did say they were having good shows, but that could be a different perspective. You could have a good show because you're buying people's collections at 50% of comp. That's a great show for a dealer, or at least I would think it would be. Even if you didn't make money, if you got tons of inventory at 50% comps, that's a good show. So lots of vintage, which was typical about the Philly shows, great vintage. You could go to a Philly show and find just as good a vintage that you would find at the National, because all the best vintage dealers go to Philly. And they're also all at the National as well, but they make it a point to go to Philly. It's a really nice vintage show. I picked up a couple on-card autos of some GOATs, Hall of Famers. I picked up a Shaq auto. If you don't follow me on Instagram, that's one card that I have posted so far. My Instagram's in the description. It's the only thing down there, flipping_Steve. Over to my Instagram, you'll see what Shaq auto I picked up. I'll tell you what it is, but you can see what it looked like. I picked up a Panini White Box 1 of 1. So it's a National Treasures Panini White Box 1 of 1 Shaq on card. And he's in his Lakers uniform. I got that in a trade night, and I traded Ultra Modern Basketball for it. I traded a Donovan Mitchell and a De'Aaron Fox for it. I sold 2 Rui Hachimura cards at comps. Rui. I sold 2 Rui cards at comps. So, I don't know. Some stuff just had me confused. I mean, I was surprised to sell 2 Hachimura cards at comps. Considering comps are up from where I was buying, 3 or 4 months ago when his stuff was dirt cheap. Now it was color. It was like select color, but I sold a red wave of his, a T-Mall red wave of his that I bought for like 40 bucks. I sold for 80 because that was the comp on it. That was the new comp on it. Somebody give me full comp for it. A dealer, not even at a trade night. Give me full comp on it. Mind blowing. The Michael Porter Juniors that I sold and doubled my money on, I didn't want to sell them. The dealer wanted to look through my box, and I said, my modern basketball isn't for sale, but you can look at my soccer and you can look at some of my other, down one row, I had a mixture of stuff. I said, there's a mixture on the left, that stuff's for sale. My soccer on the right is for sale. The center is modern NBA. I'm not selling it right now. I'm only trading. He looked down, he pulled the whole middle row out. He said, I want to buy this whole middle row. I said, it's not for sale. He then put them back, but he kept the Michael Porter Juniors out. And he said, how much for the Michael Porter Juniors? He was like, I usually pay like 75% comps. I said, honestly, dude, they're not for sale. I'm waiting a week or two. That's the best time to sell my modern NBA. He said, I'll give you 90% of last comps. I said, okay, look at the last comps. And if we're at 90% of last comps, that's a deal. Just crazy. And I'm home and I'm tired. And I just wanted to chat with you guys for like 10 minutes. I'll look at a couple comments here now that I'm parking and see what you guys think about this. But ultra modern basketball madness, if you have it and you're in at a good price, get ready to sell. Because I believe it's about to be a bad time to buy, because I believe people are going to go haywire here soon. And it's going to push your prices up. You're not going to want to buy it. You're not going to want to buy it. You're going to want to have it. You're going to want to already have it. Ziggy. Ziggy, I sell to dealers. That's what was the crazy part. It was people who had tables. That's why it's mind-blowing to me that I got 90% comps from a dealer. Let's see. So checking this out. I'm going back, but all of the grading, well, SGC and CSG were set up there. Apparently Ryan, who I hung out with a little bit from Breakout Cards, talked to the people from CSG, and they didn't really know anything about cards. He went over there to check out their product. He told me that he asked them a couple questions, and there was nobody that could even like answer his questions about cards. Ziggy, where should you sell it? I'm not sure which card you're talking about. I only have a couple cards in my pouch right here. The rest of them are in my case. Here's the Shaq that's on Instagram if you didn't see it. On card, National Treasures. Panini White Box 1 of 1. My Christian Pulisic stuff got a lot of attention too. That's one thing, but I didn't sell it. The attention it was getting was from was at trade night, and the Pulisic stuff that I have was really high end, so people at the trade night really couldn't afford it. I will tell one quick story. I sold one of my Larry Bird on-card autos, and Larry Bird is my PC, and I bought this flawless on-card auto out of 15 at the National for $300. There was a dude, he might have been 17, 18, he might not even have been that old. He was looking through my cards at trade night, and he pulled out my Larry Bird autos. And I normally don't even bring them with me. I don't know why I brought them with me. And he's like, how much on the Larry Bird autos? Well, I buy Larry Bird autos at about $300. I don't go much higher, but I told him I was like 400, and the graded one, 600, because I had one in a slab. And he was like, actually, I think I told him 450. And he was like, would you take 400 for one of either the National Treasures or the Flawless? And I told him, I said, I really don't sell my Larry Bird autos. I don't even know why I brought them. I said, because he's actually That's actually what I'm looking to buy. And that's what I'm PCing, Larry Bird autos. And then he said, yeah, he goes, Larry Bird's my favorite player of all time. Now, this is coming from like he might have been 16, 17. I'm not sure. This is coming from like a teenager, though. He says, Larry Bird's my favorite player of all time. And I was like, wait a minute. He didn't say Luka was his favorite player. He didn't say Ja Morant. He didn't say Zion. He didn't say Tatum. He didn't say Giannis. He didn't say none of these guys. He said Larry Bird is my favorite player of all time. And I felt obligated to sell him the card. Now, I don't know if that was a good move on his part, but I believe that he was telling me the truth. And I'm like, man, I'm making $100, which $100, I really don't, $100 ain't going to make me or break me. Really don't care. I was like, but this dude wants this Larry Bird auto. Larry Bird's his favorite player. How can I tell him no? So I sold one of my PC cards for only $100 profit. Stupid. But I felt like selling it to the right person. So, it was like, it was just cool. It was just a story. That's how you make stories at these trade nights and stuff. A teenager that's a huge Larry Bird fan. Go figure. How do you tell him, no, I can't sell you that Larry Bird? He was more excited getting it than I was probably to keep it. What's up, Dwayne? How you doing? I'm going to have to get ready to go inside. I'm sure my dog and my family miss me. The last pickup of the day, as I was walking out, I stumbled upon another Dr. J auto, and this is a Prism buyback. So this is a 2012 Prism. So it's the first year Prism printed. And then Panini did buybacks where they bought back some of these and had them autographed. And this is a Prism on-card auto. You don't see on-card on Prism like ever. They're always stickers because it's a chromium card. The auto is graded a 10, and it's numbered out of 9. They only did 9 buybacks. Not only that, it's number 6, which is his jersey number. So it's 6 out of 9, his jersey number, on card, already graded. $300. How do you not buy that? Me, anyway. I couldn't have walked out of the show without buying this for $300. Oh, the guy was asking for, but you negotiate. $300, 10 auto. It's already graded. That covers the grading fee. Dr. J, 6 out of 9 jersey number. First Prism buyback on card. Let's just, forget about that. Just buy it. Just buy it and put it away. I did have to replace my Larry Bird auto. So I picked up a Larry Bird game used patch. Now it's not an auto, but it is a game used patch. And it's multicolor, got a stripe there. So I picked that up to replace the auto that came out of my PC. And this is a National Treasures out of 15. But I ran into some people at the show that followed the channel. That was awesome chatting. Actually ran into one on the elevator. It was tiring. I was on the floor a lot, out late. Drove home, it's a lot easier when you don't have to do your own driving. But yeah, it was a fun show, guys. I'm going to do a full rundown of it. And I didn't put anything out on the Raleigh show. And that was last weekend. And the Raleigh show is a little smaller. And how things can change within a week within the market, for what people are looking for and asking for. And I'm going to do comparisons between those two shows because I didn't do a Raleigh show video. So I'm just going to be like, Raleigh and Philly wrap-ups and takeaways and the market shift that I'm seeing for some cards. So, yeah, 357, lots of vintage at Philly. Lots of vintage, like eye candy vintage. Like, I want a Will Chamberlain rookie, but all of them were like graded PSA 4 or better. That's out of my budget. So, guys, I'm going to go in. I got my bags. I got to sort out the cards that I picked up. But yeah, I probably came home with twice as much money as I left with. So I made some good sales. I got a couple auto cards that I really like. Traded some ultra modern basketball for a 1-of-1 Shaq auto. And yeah, just satisfied with the trip, had fun. And Can't wait to do another show. It might be a little bit of time for me now because I'm going to New Mexico for a couple weeks in October. I don't think I'll be able to make any shows at all next month. So, and I know Chantilly's coming up. That's when I want to try to make. I might be back in town in time for that show. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go in. I got to check up on my fantasy football scores. I'm probably getting crushed. The Dolphins are probably getting beat, but had a good show this weekend, guys. Thanks for joining me for the last, 20 minutes of my ride home. And I got to get up and go to work in the morning. And I won't be able to live stream, guys. Unfortunately, I can't live stream tomorrow night. I'm actually not working in the morning. I have to work overnight tomorrow night. Another manager isn't able to make it in for his shift, and I have to go in and work overnight. So I won't be able to live stream tomorrow night, guys. All right, guys, take it easy. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, guys. Go find some cards that you like, add them to your collection. Go find a few cards that you can flip so you can have more money to buy for your collection. And put a little bit of that money to the side because you never know what might happen. Until next time, guys, take it easy. I'll see you next time.